so that they can move in. One, leave that question lingering in the back of one's mind as a potentiality. Most of the people who have analyzed all this, such as the Council on Foreign Relations and others, are saying, no, Gary, that's not a possibility. This is a classic case. Conflict may inadvertently serve the interests of Moscow and Tehran. Most of the assessments that I've read about it, because this is a question that's been burning in me, are rejecting the idea of some kind of an intentional accord, so to speak. So I looked at an analysis in Foreign Affairs, which is the publication of the Council on Foreign Relations. And that analysis suggests that when the president initiated the war early this year, he had an aggressive pressure strategy. And he assumed, perhaps naively and maybe perhaps based on the facts on the ground, that these massive airstrikes and the assassination of Khamenei would trigger a rapid collapse of the regime. Dug in, as others, Andrew mentioned, they've adapted their tactics. They choked off the Strait of Hormuz. And so the administration now is for the simple answer, but that's a pretty onerous suggestion. Maybe it's wrong.
I mean, I'm not really into the sort of, conspiracy theories as such, which the first one kind of supports it, isn't it? But then the second one, I actually think there's a heck of a lot is at stake. I think the entire relationship between East and West is at stake here. I think the Strait of Hormuz will determine how who's the leader of the Western world is going to be seen, and subsequently, as a result of that, the entire Western world, if you like, is going to be seen. So the relationship, the dynamics between the East and West will change if America decides. I don't know what you think about it.
You can't win a war, you can't prosecute a war without the support of the populace. And this war was never sold to the American people. Hell, it wasn't even sold to the members of Congress. Hell, it wasn't even sold to the Republican members of Congress. And the contradictory commentary from the president, as I pointed out earlier, they're now saying, the prices at the pump, they're going to plummet once we reopen the Strait of Hormuz, but the president claims the Strait of Hormuz is open. So, I've been taking it on the chin, quite frankly, Amir, in my social media postings, for simply posting a statement made by the president. People just attack me left, right, and center. I'm not doing my job as a journalist because I'm not pointing out to people that the president lies every time he opens his mouth. If you just say what the president is stating, what he posted a minute ago on Truth Social, accurately, nobody's saying that I'm misstating or misrepresenting what the president says. Well, hell, I might as well be his press secretary because I'm carrying his water. People are not ready to buy in to this war because they do not like the commander-in-chief. I think that's my thumbnail analysis of it, Amir. I don't know, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was equally frustrated when I said don't take much notice of what President saying. And he says, how can I not? And I said, you're absolutely right there. But then he's leading. For me, the bridges feeding to the south of the country. I mean, that's just obvious. It's a very obvious question. By the way, nobody calls this a war. There are about 100 lorries now stuck at the bottom bottom end of Iran, they delivered goods and they wanted to buy fuels. They're filled up with fuels and now they're stuck because all these bridges have been destroyed. So it's obviously affecting the livelihood of thousands of people, and not to mention people who are losing their lives. And yet nobody calls this a war because they don't want. I don't know why Iran doesn't want to call it a war, by the way, because it would benefit them if they did call it a war, because it would effectively increase the prices in the West for oil. And I would have thought that's an advantage, but maybe because of the internal politics that they don't want to call it a war. I don't know about that. But I can understand your frustration. But at the end of the day, they have to make a decision on the fundamentals here at the high level. Okay, it didn't work out. There was a miscalculation. It's a bit like me going down the road. Okay, I hit a dead end. What do? Do I turn around and come back home? Well, maybe not. Maybe I look at Google Map and I find another way. And I think that's where we are.
I would suggest to you, Amir, that was your first mistake. You looked at Google Maps. Why can't we pull out a Rand McNally any longer? People don't know how to read maps. Thanks, Amir. Sim, I guess you get the last word.
No, so I thought I just saw the news about the Houthis threatening Saudi Arabia to cut off the Red Sea, and I'm like, what's going on there? Like, if these are the two major chokeholds, right? So a lot of the oil that leaves the Middle East cold for Europe is the Red Sea. So combined together, we're looking at 30 to 40% of all the world trade. Actually, to be honest with you, it's more than that, but that's what the official numbers are. But I feel like without oil, it has a ripple effect on every other thing, right? Like, oil is a basis of every economy, at least fossil fuel, that is. Is Trump not capable of getting the deal that he wanted? And why are we anticipating these rings or choke points of the world affected is going to be a good thing for any economy. And as not a citizen, but as a person that's engaged in the economy of the world, should we worry about another major economic downturn because of this?
Rebels in Yemen, and they are controlled and financed by Iran. So this is a front that's being opened by Iran. They're putting a greater squeeze because they see that the petrol flow and the petrodollar is a choke point politically for the United States. So they have declared today an immediate and total naval blockade against Saudi Arabia. Do they have the capability of doing this? I don't know, but that's what they declared. So at the very least, they've opened a dangerous new front, expanding the war, and I will call it a war. So there was a televised video statement by the Houthi military spokesman announcing this maritime embargo under the equation of an eye for an eye. The move is direct retaliation for the Saudi siege on Yemen and the recent coalition airstrike targeting Sana'a International Airport. And so it places critical global energy corridors under a double squeeze now. And I don't know, I'm not a student of history to that degree, and I know the term unprecedented is tossed around cavalierly, but I do not believe that there's been such a double squeeze before. So you're absolutely right in your analysis, Sin. Personally, since you asked me, I think one of the biggest mistakes in all of this was the president's failure to put together a coalition of the willing before going in. I don't know what he was thinking. we do not have Europe behind us, even though Europe is being impacted by all of this. And part of this also has to do with his derogatory remarks toward NATO. Could he have affected the NATO allies paying their fair share and doing more to provide self-protection without embarrassing them on the world stage in the manner in which he did? I don't know. And maybe it was a necessary tool and an effective one, his version of the art of the deal, to get them off the rear ends to do what they needed to do. So at least what occurred as a result of this in that regard, I guess could be chalked up as a success of his administration. But the flip side of that is, what was the cost? And the cost, I believe, for what it's worth, I'm not an expert, others can disagree, but for what it's worth, I believe the cost is he alienated them so badly that there was no way he could go and ask for another coalition of the willing. Because if he had done it and it had been turned down, he was embarrassed, and they would have been a loser. And we know this president's like losers.
So, can I be fair in your judgment and assessment?
I hope you are.
So, not to say that you're wrong. I think those are weaknesses that could be attributed to the current president. But wasn't it Biden who stopped the Saudi Arabia finishing the job to get rid of the Houthis back in, if I'm not mistaken, in 2018 or prior to that, when Saudis, UAE, and all the Middle East countries were first, I think under, I don't know if it was Biden or Trump was in presidency, but the Saudis and the UAE and the Gulf Coalition had taken up the mantle in dismantling the Houthi threat, right? And then the Biden administration put pressure on Saudi to stop that war, which now we're paying for. So could it be fair to say that it's not just Trump, but the past two U.S. presidents have not done their due diligence in really foreseeing what is now what we're experiencing?
So most of the analysis on that would suggest that President Biden never had a realistic military or political opportunity to use your term, eliminate the Houthis. Completely destroying that group was never an option on the table because they're deeply entrenched. They're 200,000 strong, and they control territory housing 8% of Yemen's population. So without going to war against Yemen, how do you do that? The Republican Party has suggested repeatedly that, and some, he did a series of strategic calculations and policy shift opportunities to contain the group, and that emboldened them. But to suggest that he had the ability to eliminate the Houthis, most military analysts, not me, but most military analysts would say no.
No, I agree. I mean,
I'll get to you, Flo. We go one at a time here. Go ahead, Sam. You gotta wait to your turn.
So no, I agree with you. Forest, mountains, hard to back, but there was no worldly support for the Eastern Saudi Arabia coalition. But the Iranians bragged that they have control of 2 choke points of the world and that they got the world in their hands, their balls. They were bragging that they were the superpower who could do all this.
Right. So here's the thing. All of these problems, the ones that you are talking about, the terrorist attacks, October the 7th, all of that could have been avoided had this regime not been in power. And I think the president was predisposed to eliminating the regime, but the strategy failed. And now we are where we are today. And along the way, he didn't gain support from the Europeans, which might have helped. And he didn't sell it to the American people, which certainly hurt. That's my analysis, anyways, for what it's worth. Thank you, Sin. Glow, followed by William.
I would love to continue after they're done.
Glow.
I wanted to share just some news from Yemen. There's a new armed faction. It's called the Free Yemen Movement, and it has declared an uprising against the Houthis from inside Sana'a. We announced an armed uprising against the Houthi movement from within Sana'a due to the crimes committed by Iran and the Houthis. This uprising comes in response to the Houthi starvation, looting, theft, and killing of Yemenis, as well as their violation of, Yemen's sovereignty and the implementation of Iranian directives. Just that.
Okay, I don't know about this new use of the term Free Yemenite movement. The Free Yemen movement was actually the Free Yemeni movement. It's called Al-Ahrar, is that right? Do I say it right? That's an historical, I don't know anything about this new Free Yemen movement. I'd love to know more. So message me and tell me what you know. William, and I think we'll have time to go back to Sun.
I came up to, basically, Amir said that the United States is the leader of the Western world. That's no longer the case. The United States is the wealthiest country in the Western world. The United States has the most powerful military of any single country in the Western world by far. But the United States has, as you were saying, Gary, broken their alliances. They've threatened other NATO members like Canada or the Kingdom of Denmark, threatening Greenland, which is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. The United States has changed from being the lead country within NATO to being the vendor to NATO. So the United States is no longer the leader, and part of that is really the Western world. The alliances are largely held together on economics and an ideological commitment towards democratic governance based on ideas of liberal democracy. There's been an attack on the national security, direct national security attacks on NATO allies, and the rest of the world is watching. Everybody sees this. People are paying attention that lead other countries. It's given a lot of uncertainty about our leadership and our commitments with our relationships with the East Asian countries. When we turn on our NATO allies, how does Japan or South Korea or Taiwan look at it? Well, yeah, Trump did get everybody to arm up, and Europe is increasing its military expenditures throughout Europe. Basically, the countries most close to Russia are spending the most, and Japan has changed their constitution, and they are increasing their military expenditures by a lot. South Korea is getting ready for war, and probably not doing it as seriously as they could, but they, all of our Western allies, the democratic allies that we had, are no longer looking to the United States for leadership, and they're beginning to look to each other and forming new relationships, new alliances, and basically trading around us economically to the extent that they can. We're a huge economic powerhouse. We've got the biggest economy of all of them, and they can't avoid us entirely. But they've been switching over to locally produced weapon systems to the extent that they can, rather than simply rely upon the United States. Take a look at the European stocks, and take a look at what's going on in Japan and South Korea. There is a lot of increased investment, and the goal of that increased investment, by the way we have attacked our alliance structures, is less reliance upon the United States. So maybe Trump thought, oh, I'll beat up on all these countries like a mafia boss, and I'll get them to all kowtow and buy more weapons from the United States. And to some extent, he's been correct. They have. And to a large extent, they have been diversifying away from us, and we have lost the trust of our former allies, and we're no longer the leaders. So I think that's important to recognize and understand.
Thank you, William. We'll go to Sin, followed by Amir.
Right. So, no, great stuff. So, I think, Greg, you might appreciate my use of this word. America's been going through not a civil war, but a political civil war, right? Where the Democrats and the Republicans are not on the same page regarding where America's future lies, right? So we're suffering from that, right? And the world is seeing, hey, they're not united. There's such division, and different political groups around the world will buy off a political organization against each other in order to, so like the empire, for all intents and purposes, is dying, right? But that's not a bad thing. America should have never been an empire. America fought off colonialism, fought off building within its own confine, not unlike the British Empire or the French or the other European empire. So we're not good as Americans, right? We're not great at being imperial power and being world leader, and we should have never been involved in that. It's just a haphazard of what happened in World War II with the British and the Germans, so forth and so on. Without going deep into the historical context, I would say that with great power comes responsibility, and we are responsible in how the world is going to be. We have a stake to play. Now, I think it's easy for us to just simply blame Trump, but I think he's reactionary, right? So he's reacting towards what he sees as a threat to what it is American power. And he's pressured the Europeans to take more action, but they said, no, we don't want to put boots on the ground. You got to beg us, you got to do all that. And maybe he lost patience. And maybe he should have been more patient, right? But the thing is, whatever it is, we're entering a multipolar world where power is structured and not only situated in one area of the world. Western power. The Chinese are coming up, the Russians have a role to play, and so forth and so on. And we have to be realistic. There's the only realistic men out there right now. Not to say that the way he handled business is correct, and I think he takes decisions off the cuff rather than having a more well thought out policy. But he's dealing with the situation that the world is. We have to forget. We have to get over. The center of power is no longer Washington, D.C. There are many centers of power, and this is going to continue for a very long period of time. And right now, who's hurt the most with the closure of the Strait of Hormuz is either China or Asian countries. Who's going to be hurt the most with the Red Sea Strait, Bab el-Mandeb being closed? Europe and North Africa, right? Where, all the wealth is accumulated, right? So who should be responsible? It's the people that have a stake. America is a self-contained, insulated part of the world. we don't have a lot to lose here. The rest of the world do. And I think it's going to wake them up and take more responsibility that this type of action by the Iranians and the rebels in Houthi in Yemen, those are not contributing to the betterment of the world. They're not the group of people we want to see have a say in how this earth survives the next hundreds of years. We're not a best example. We do a lot of pollutions. We do a lot of crazy stuff and selfish stuff. I get it, but it's much better than the ideas of those countries. So right now, I think instead of blaming Trump and blaming America, the Europeans and the Asian countries need to wake up and see the path forward is to Iran and get rid of the Houthis. And I think Houthis are the bigger threat to European wealth, and they should wake up and do something about it rather than complaining that Trump is not the greatest guy. He's done this, he's done that to us. Well, now wake up and do what you need to do, which is to secure the Belt and Road, which is a choke point for 10-20% trade, all their oil resources to the Red Sea, and they need to come out through the Belt and Road to go out there to Asia, right? So not only Belt and Road is important to Europe, it's also now important to Asia as a choke point. So rather than saying Trump did this, he broke this, let's move on. Let's figure out the way forward. Get rid of the Houthis. Like I said before, the Biden administration put out a lot of pressures on them to stop their operation. If they had continued now, the Houthis would have been gone. And what else did we do not to support the Saudi coalition or the UAE coalition? So we're paying for the past political mistake of the Democrats, as well as the now mistakes that the. So it's a sticky situation, but we gotta move forward because the world economy right now is under threat, and that affects all of us here and everyone around the world. You know, the blame game is over. What are we gonna do about this? This is my concern, Greg.
Thank you, Sin. I've got some breaking news.
Gary, sorry. That's St. Greg.
That's okay. I've got some breaking news that's directly related to today's discussion. The Pentagon now says nearly 100 U.S. troops have been injured in the last 2 weeks of the Iran war. Disclosure follows the New York Times report today that the Defense Department was withholding from the American people casualty figures. A report that the Pentagon attacked is inaccurate. And then suddenly they release these figures. So nearly 100 injured in the last 2 weeks of the Iran war. Amir, followed by Matthew.
Just very quickly with regards to what William said, I tend to agree with a lot of points that he made, but it has to be seen in the context of Trump window in the US. The US is much, much bigger than Trump, and that's something that often gets confused. From, for example, the UK perspective, US is still the leader as far as, we do the largest trade with the US, and we heavily rely on the US on the military side of things with NATO and the rest of it. And I think, to be honest with you, Trump, kicking gas of the EU countries is not a bad thing. It has kind of paid off in terms of, what needed to be done, because it was just ridiculous. I think all US citizens would agree that, if it was only the UK that was really, and France perhaps, that was paying the 2.5% at the time, nobody else was really reaching that point, and they should do. And now they are doing it, going beyond, which is a good thing. So those are the two things. And one other point which William made, which I thought was actually, to some extent, was answering his own questions or comment or point, and that was that the fact that it's not just about the trade or the military, it's also about the system of governance, about values, about democracy, liberalism, multi-party, everything else. And I think in all of those, it's leading, and I'm talking about US, including the window of the Trump, but Wow.
Thank you, Amir. Matthew, followed by Alyssa.
Hey guys, yeah, man, I don't know. The war is expanding. Trying to just go back to the topic of the room, but even if it expands, when I think of the Straits of Hormuz, for me, it's kind of like imagine China trying to come to the Gulf of Mexico and controlling the Gulf of Mexico, like the ships coming in and out of the Gulf of Mexico or something like that. Like the Straits of Hormuz, like that is right next to Iran, and it's very thin, and Iran just needs like basically the smaller the better. The smaller the boats that they use to mess things up in the straits, and the more the drones they have, like they don't even need to like blow anything up. They just need to like deny safe passage, right? So I just don't see any solution except for the U.S. Navy actually like leaving the straits, and then Iran may reopen it, and I think that's actually what's going to happen. I think there's going to be some negotiations in about 2 or 3 weeks. There'll be more bombing. There'll be more negotiations. The U.S. Navy will pull back, and the straits may open again. And then Trump might go back to bombing it, and then the Iranians will close it again by simply creating threats. I just don't see. I just don't see any solution to it. It's very easy to attack. It's very easy to mess around with. It's classic. Like, you know what it reminds me of is, during like the Revolutionary War, where the British troops would get off of their boats and they would like all line up in one line, the American rebels, right? And the American rebels would be picking off redcoats by hiding in the woods or hiding behind trees. That's exactly what's happening in Iran. You know, it's just classic. It's classic. What do you call that? Guerrilla warfare. You know, it's asymmetrical warfare, and the geography allows the IRGC to win this fight. I don't think it's possible at all. Is it expanding? Maybe some troops might get dropped off in a couple of places in Iran to look for the nuclear material. But again, I think now there's Iran to build nuclear programs. Because they probably see it as a kind of regime survival now. So I think the thing is going backwards. So
By Dude.
Well, I know I can see it. Like Trump doesn't want to hurt the non-radical people of Iran. But he started something that is not going to finish easily because they are, how their oil was overflowing? They had to get rid of it somehow. And who's buying it from? If people will just turn on the news or just, I don't know, open their Twitter or X, they'll see their one of their allies, China, is helping them, and Russia is supplying them with more stuff, and they never got that dust out, and so they're still creating nukes. I don't think this is gonna end quickly. And I wish someone from I don't know if I want to hear this from England, but like if they could say, explain what is actually happening, because it's kind of gotten to them quicker, because I mean they're over in Europe and other countries in Europe. I don't know facts, but just what I've heard of in England and seen that happen. Yeah, I wish Trump would have listened to all of the many retired generals that kept saying you cannot, which is obvious now, you cannot negotiate with these people. And that's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
Thank you, Alyssa. So you're right, Iran is actively attempting to rebuild and restore its damaged nuclear infrastructure. We don't know the extent of its success. There's a lot of debating about that, but I think there's universal belief that that is exactly what's going on. Dude, you get the last word.
Well, I'll just say that I hope that it doesn't expand, but it does seem to be the likely situation that the world is currently facing. Trade corridors matter. There are probably other trade corridors that are being worked on building. Africa being a continent rich in resources. Russia and China and America are probably looking at different economic and trade agreements that will either dissipate.
You cut yourself off there, dude. You stopped talking mid-sentence. Go ahead, try it again. Apparently he's got a technical issue. Folks, we're here Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock New York time. So till 5 o'clock New York time tomorrow for the next edition of the Critical Thinking Forum. Everybody be safe, be well, and peace out.
sort of shared place with equal access to citizen and non-citizen alike. That is a place.
I will open a room now. I will open a room. If you are a man has goals, no problem. I will open a room.
How's it going? Doing all right, man. Good to see you one time. Yes, sir. See you.
Yeah, I'm used to it. But I've never had a problem, getting a PDF from an author ever, but
It's about society, though. That's not a prediction. I can sit there and say, yeah, in the next 250 years, there's going to be a war between this country and that country, and the chances that I'm right are significantly high, especially with how fucking countries operate. You're making blanket statements about society. You say, oh my God, I'm the correct.
And he talks about water being one of those things that he brought into existence. We're not disputing that. The statement that the Quran is making, right, that God is making in the Quran, that God is revealing to us, right, is that, right, all living things in order.
What's his name?
These
people, Neanderthal.
And this is why my title, y'all will
Neanderthals. Yeah, right. What's he saying? This is what they are. Look how they behave. Like Neanderthals.
Tell me what he's saying.
Tell me what God's saying. The Quran. The newer book. What's he saying? Tell me about it again. It's so easy, even the king.
But all living things are created from water.
That's what he said. All living
Well,
things are created from water.
Rocco, can you recite the verse directly so that I don't
Saying that evolution is. Yeah, I'll pull the verse up. Okay, so you believe in evolution? That makes
No. I would never. No, don't speak for my belief. You don't have to speak for my belief. Let me say it like this. This is a police stop. Okay. You don't. Let me say it like this. You do not. Okay. Well, if evolution says it, right? Show me that prior to the Quran. Show me that prior to the Quran because that was the argument. That was my statement. Yeah. Show me any literature prior to the Quran that stated this.
I would say I already told you Genesis.
No, not this. We already went over that. We're not the dependency of water and the creation of human beings is what we're actually speaking about.
It was a dark void.
That's what we're speaking about. The dependency of water. And guess what? It was other things created before water, right? And earth was still earth with life.
Yeah, so it's just
With
the
life.
same thing.
Even in Genesis, earth with life without the water. But God stated, but look at this. And this is why you all will regret.
On the rock, yeah.
Dang.
Listen to something. Look at the sky for a lot. Didn't see any birds laying up there. And butterflies that are eating my like I feel something that'd be painful on it. Like, see, there's like a fly on there, and maybe like, yeah, it'd be like two of them even. That's the law from Shaitania occurred. Did the unbelievers not realize that the heaven and the earth used to be one solid mass, that we exploded into existence, and from water we made all living things into existence? What did they believe? I don't know, he says we exploded into existence, something like that. Hey Ray, you're hot blanket, so that's to be expected. So you guys are just arguing for evolution, then? When you say that?
No, we're not arguing on behalf of evolution.
Why not?
We're arguing on behalf that there's
How else
no
does God
God.
do it?
Right?
How else does God do it?
What?
How else does God do it?
How else does God do it?
Do the life that we see on the planet.
You said how by repeating it.
He doesn't use evolution.
By repetition.
He doesn't use evolution.
By repetition.
Yeah, that's part
Because
of
but
evolution.
you shouldn't believe in evolution because you
Evolution
said that they were
requires
able. Hold on,
knowledge.
it wouldn't be evolution. It wouldn't be evolution, right? By your own admission, right? You said that it would be evolution by your own admission. It was either you or Mark. I don't know which one was talking, but right, it wouldn't be considered evolution when you agree to the notion that there was literature written and it was people able to discover certain things back then, right? That wouldn't be evolution, would it? If today, right, how would humanity evolve if the same things back in the day they have discovered, they're discovering today? That wouldn't be evolution.
Yeah, I don't know what you're referring to. Can you give me an example?
You said it. You literally said, what were we talking about? We were talking about, what point did I bring?
I don't know. I don't know what you hear.
No. That was his point, evolution.
You talking
Okay.
about
So basically, well, turn your phone down. We have options. Remember, God don't remove our choice. But anyway,
That's okay.
he was talking about, he mentioned evolution, right? And he said we believe in evolution. I said, well, by his own admission, right? Because earlier he brought up when we mentioned the water thing, right? When we mentioned the verses in the Quran. Sign of the water, right? He brought up and he said, oh, well, this was written in Genesis or whatever, right? And I said, absolutely not. This wasn't written in Genesis, right? This is something that is what they're doing today. That would be evolution because they're not evolving. It's nothing evolved. It's the same shit from the past into the future.
What are you talking about?
Sure, you can act now.
You don't take a lot of meds during the day, do you? You usually just take a break.
No, I'm not you. If we're exactly, if there's evolution, why are things staying the same? By your admission, things are the same based upon you saying, oh yeah, we're talking about a new phenomenon. You're talking about something of the past. You're talking about something of the past. Yes. That you're saying, oh yeah, they had that information back then. That wouldn't be evolution.
Who had
You're so smart, you're stupid.
what information?
Say that again.
I just don't know what you're fighting about. Like, what are you fighting against?
I don't know what you're fighting. You said that.
All I said is you're arguing for evolution. That's all I said.
No, you're arguing on behalf of evolution.
Yeah, I am.
We agree with you about evolution. We say we agree with you. Sure, does the world evolve? We're not arguing on behalf of evolution. Sure, does the world evolve? Absolutely. Are you sad that there's a God and that your homosexual ass or pedophile ass will be held to account or whatever you're doing? Only people who don't believe in God, respectfully, are the worst amongst society. You do some of the most detestable things. The detestable things.
Yeah, you want me to show you the
detestable things. Well, let's show the data about how more white Americans are atheists. Let's show the data on that.
Did you know that it's mostly white Christian men that are?
It's more.
Did you know that factually?
Well, there's our reporting. Right? Because people don't go around saying, yeah, I'm an atheist. People don't go around saying, yeah, I'm an atheist. What they believe in when they fucking rape somebody or when they fucking look at child porn. They don't go around saying, I'm an atheist. This is why I looked at it. So of course it's going to be reported more. I know you dummy. Of course it's going to be reported more as far as churches and all of this stuff because they allegedly supposed to be Christian. Whatever. Nobody is going to be like, I'm an atheist and I rape somebody.
Keep the mask on longer than that. You don't have to go on symptoms.
Stop.
Hi, Ray. I'm happy to be here in the name of God. I joined the house. Thanks for having me, Ray.
No problem.
Yeah, so it still sounds like, based on your reasoning, you would be arguing, in fact, for evolution, based on your reasoning. That's okay.
Hi, Ray. I've heard Honey Badger in other rooms, and he doesn't really say anything intelligent. He kind of just like does this put-down game, but doesn't actually say anything. He doesn't state any facts or any opinions. He kind of just like comes into rooms and just doesn't really say anything. So I want to thank you for leading the room. all praise God, death to the atheists. They are low IQ. They are lonely, bored people, and I feel bad for them that they don't like to read books and they just come onto a conference call app to make their self-esteem, feel better. That's my observation.
I appreciate you. You gotta hear that ding and that triangle in the background. I don't know, what would you call it? Philosophers, maybe? Or what do you consider Alan Watts? Ray, is that true? You love Alan Watts? Anybody who, how to obtain it, how to get more of it, how to think about it critically, anybody who does that would be, by definition, a philosopher. It's just the dedication to the love for wisdom.
I love wisdom, and I read books. Many people in this room probably do not. But I was just reading about German ideology, Marx and Engels, and collectivists and socialists, and the horror and the terror of war. And it kind of strikes me that many of those people who were fighting to the death in Stalingrad, just 1 million people died. I'm sure there were atheists, and I'm sure that there were, theists fighting to the death, and they thought that what they were doing was moral and ethical, and maybe it would solve all the problems for all of mankind, and they'd say, we did it. I sacrificed my life to solve this riddle that so many people seem to struggle with, whatever that riddle might be. But when it comes to violence, I try to avoid it as much as possible, because if you're around violence, you could die. And so I prefer the comfort of my house full of books and conference calls where people can't punch me in the nose. But it just strikes me as amazing that people waste so much time having irreverent conversations over and over again, repeating themselves endlessly, as if it's like a video game that they just love, or one of their favorite movies like Terminator 2 or Back to the Future. And it just amazes me as I observe human behavior, how bored and lonely and, not creative people are. Pretty lame. I don't know what they're afraid of or what they're hiding. But maybe you're right, Ray. Maybe these faggot atheists are just pedophile loser faggots. It's just my opinion.
Theatrical, yeah. I don't know. Maybe these non-believers, they just do so many weird things, and I'm not weird at all myself. Maybe I go out there and I look at everybody and I observe everybody, and I'm not the fucking weirdo myself. Not one bit. Not me. It was good though. I liked the message. Good comedic timing. The way he dropped that gotcha at the end as a punchline. I thought it was pretty good. I'd give it an 8, like a 7.9. That was good, because I did agree with the message. I thought it was pretty poignant. And I agree with it. Most of it. That was cool. John Kitlover. Okay. John Kitlover. Get it right. Because Ray was seemed like I understand she's got a lot on her plate, and I don't blame or fault her, but she was seeming a little bit elevated
with me and you earlier. So it was just nice and refreshing, you know.
On Kitover, start.
Yeah, well, whatever your name is, progressive, liberal, thank you so much for everything. Appreciate it. I guess that's why progressive liberals exist. Is to bring poetry, meaning, an open door, carrying hands, you know. So thanks. Really appreciate that, progressive.
You're welcome. Ray, I'd like to read a poem to these atheist faggot pedophiles who are extremely bored and lonely and who are uncreative. They don't create anything. They just come on here to kick guys like me to the goo or kick me from the rooms to make their self-esteem feel better. Like Honey, he'll say, oh yeah, John Kitover, he comes up here, I love it, he says a poem, and then he just like leaves and goes back down to the goo. But that's because Honey is actually a very effeminate man who doesn't have resilience or can't, even have a conversation with somebody, even if it's an irreverent conversation, because the truth is Honey is a very fragile person. He's very weak. He has no real strength and no real joy. And as a progressive liberal, I feel it's incumbent upon me to help these young men that the system failed, to make them stronger, to give them the joy and the wisdom that they are lacking as faggot pedophiles, losers and abusers and lonely people and non-creative people. I feel it's my calling in life to help these faggot retards.
And I do appreciate your input. And I've been writing a lot of this down, so I'm gonna review this later tonight after I get back from church, and I'll be just kind of taking what you've shared with us to improve my vision. Thank you.
And not one person will think that you are a lunatic and a fucking weirdo yourself, progressive. Not one person is going to think that. You're not fucking weird. You're not some fucking bizarro crazy motherfucker online. No, not you.
And I do wish you well. I hope your stand-up paddleboarding exploits are assist you and others in your community. I know you have been running for Congress for quite a while now, and I hope you get in. I hope you made it. That basically when you say that, like someone says, hey, everything in the world with life had to have water beforehand. It came from water. That would be in line with evolution theory, correct?
Don't try to, Mark, I'm not going to let you escape the dumb statement you made. So, you're trying to comfort yourself. Yeah, you're trying to comfort yourself right now.
Well, you don't want to answer that question.
You know it was dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
Honey, if the human body is 98% water, you weigh 185 pounds, what's the molecular weight of the H2O contained within the cells in the skin of your body?
Like 140 pounds. 160 pounds. All right.
I'm just making a little joke here. Ray, I just want to thank you in the name of God for having this room. You attract the flies just like horse flies to manure or squirrel poop or honey badger poop. You are like the candle that brings these mutant moths to the barnyard or to the church or the library, or what you might say, library. And I just want to read a little poem to all the lonely non-creative faggot retards. It's called The Devil, and I hope that this helps illuminate you and teaches you a little wisdom about how retarded, how much of a faggot you are. To this key of grotesque and terrible aspect is attributed mirth. The devil is that horrible character of exoteric dogmatism which is so ridiculous to an enlightened person like Progressive Liberal here on Clubhouse. But deeper than this, the figure represents the delusion of outward appearance. Key 15 is the opposite of Key 6. Hence, it shows what happens to us when we fail to use our faculty of discrimination. The ancients declared that the devil is God inverted. This refers...
They thought that we were food by their skin. I heard it when Mark said what he said like a little bit, like maybe 3 minutes ago. I heard it. You know what I'm going to say? I wasn't listening then. I just was listening. Yeah, no, I heard Mark went down. I'm like, what is this? Like, you can tell.
Hello?
They think we don't know any better. We see right through you.
You see right through me? What do you see if I'm transparent? Hello?
You are. You see the right? Yeah.
Hello? Well, since you don't like my poetry, maybe I could play you a little song on my Chinese flute as you look through me.
By the way, Progressive is a believer.
Interact with the stupidest fucking people.
What's your degree in?
I mean, technically I have a bunch, but I have political science.
Technically, you have a bunch of degrees. I've never heard anybody say that before.
Yeah, I have a political science, I have a journalism, and I have a generalized theology degree.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes, I use my theology degree, and I used to use my political science degree.
What career do you have?
I teach intro classes.
Wow, that's awesome. On
It's horrible. College.
Which university or college you teach?
I don't feel comfortable sharing that information.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Hi, this is Progressive Liberal. I'd like to say something about the title of the room, if I may, moderators.
Progressive, of course. Go on.
Oh my god, this fucking John.
Yes.
Hi, moderators. Thanks for having me on your stage. With regards to Muslims being saved, I just want to say that to a Christian, it's not really that important to save a Muslim per se.
I handled it like a champ. I just thanked him a lot, and I was very good.
Room from hell.
The truth be told, I worry what the future holds.
So I just come out of there, and then I come in here. It's Baghdadi too.
Well, since you don't want to hear my opinion about the room title,
The evidence to justify the claim that God does exist and that you know he exists.
Yeah,
Yes, I have the evidence.
I'd love to hear it.
The evidence is us here now. That's it.
Oh my god. Look at the trees.
It's
That's horrible. It's horrible.
It's evidence of
A
wrong.
lot of evidence.
Is it evidence of wrong?
A lot of
I love the cheesy bit of the song. Look at the trees, look at the birds.
Look at my dirty knees, I fall down when I climb these trees. I get mesmerized when I look in the sky at the birds that fly by. I get dizzy in a haze from climbing these trees. Trees like beautiful.
Atheists and
Oh, here we go. Now he talks from his position. He's going to go into attack mode. Okay, come on then, let's hear it.
yeah, the funny thing that we both have in common is that we both agree that the magic happened.
No magic. Zero magic.
It just happened without a magician. Magic happened though.
Not magic.
I'll do that
There's only
go on a little ride with them and
It happened.
reality.
Brother said Houdini was a great magician, guys. He was in fact real. He did in fact.
He died. He's gonna pivot to evolution. He's gonna pivot to evolution. I totally know what's going on. One of Houdini's acts that he tried to trick people with, he died from, so he wasn't the greatest.
We call it karma's a bitch.
I want to talk to Baghdadi about the fact that we exist as mammals. Would you say we're animals, Baghdadi?
I would say we're whatever we are.
Are we animals?
We're whatever we are.
Are we animals?
I wouldn't say animals, but I wouldn't say not animals.
I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say that we're not.
I would say whatever we are. You know, it's how you look at you.
Definitely give her the option. Money and power.
Hey, let's see what's going on, Viv. What'd you say, Viv? What's going on?
I think this is for a few more things than I'd expect.
Oh, okay. You're still in the States then.
Yeah.
How do you feel about range dressing?
Oh, don't make you fuck with it. Have you tried this bullshit calories? Ranch dressing is garbage, by the way.
Sure, no. Like, apparently there's a thing.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
No shit, this is not who you think it is.
Hand raising.
No, it's not who you think it is.
This is our next president in chief.
I just came to participate in a happy hour.
And then you make it out
I brought my Chinese flute.
I definitely feel like when you went to high school, there were some unresolved sexual assault charges.
Projection mirror says what? The projection detection system has been activated.
Okay. So Viv. Did you try Fury?
See, in America, ranch dressing is best used on a chopped salad or to dip your pizza in.
Have we really nothing else to talk about?
Paper
a baby wipe after they drop a deuce at 8 a.m. and throw that baby wipe in a separate garbage. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Happy Hour, where Clown House users are confirming that they have shit on their ass right at this moment. Bidet, the guy doesn't even have a bathtub. He's got a walk-in shower.
If I get the parasite, I'll be very happy to have that bidet.
Everybody's talking about this explosive diarrhea salad parasite, and they just came out and said it was all fake news. It was alleged. It was presumptuous of the CDC to diagnose America with explosive diarrhea.
It's not pandemic, I guess.
Robert Kennedy at the CDC conference call, Kennedy was like, "We got a problem with explosive diarrhea. The salad's all infected with E. coli. Everybody's getting explosive diarrhea." Projection mirror says what? If I had a girlfriend, would I be in a conference call called Happy Hour instead of having her sit on my face right now?
That's a great question, by the way. You have a wife, not a girlfriend. Can you answer that, Austin?
Austin, I've been divorced 140 times. I'm currently single. Are you a matchmaker? Because I'm looking for a matchmaker that specializes in neurodivergent faggot retards. In 2026. He's been proven to be a faggot retard.
I'm not matching with you. You just requested we match with faggot retards. What's the most faggoty retarded thing about you?
Oh God, there's so much. I don't even know where to start. Maybe the
start at the beginning.
Well, I'm bald, so you know a lot of people like to say catfish, but now they're calling it bald fish. Yeah, the top. I'm starting at the top. I'm bald.
I mean, but not about your
I'm
appearance,
beautiful.
but the spirit. What makes you the most faggoty retarded?
Oh, my faggot retard spirit. Well, listen, I like to call it a HAP or an EAP, which are an acronym for a highly annoying person or an extremely annoying person. And I think if you observe my behavior and cross-compare it with the behavior of other people on this app, you will find out that I am actually not a highly annoying person. That could be you. you could be that extremely annoying person, but not
That's
me.
true, but-
Hello? David, welcome to the room.
Yeah, so, John, as you're pointing out there, but that's just a relative comparison. So, of course, when you're doing it like that, you're gonna find that. So, let's go back to what you want to find in your future 141st ex-wife.
Wait, you've been divorced before, Chicago?
Yeah, according to Maimonides, my favorite Jewish rabbi, I'm a divorcee 140 times over because every woman you've ever slept with is technically your cosmic wife.
Really? Yeah, your head doesn't count.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's an interesting point, though.
Well, cosmically speaking, there's really no way to have an experience with. It's not important how old I am, Dr. Powers.
I guess 35, right?
No.
We'll see what you got. You tell me all right.
It's mid-40s.
Yeah.
Or low 50s. 40.
I'm 43, and if you want to see my social security card, it's tattooed on my arm. If you want to see
23
it.
minus 18. All right, so that's 25, right?
Division.
Yeah, so.
David, welcome to Happy Hour. What are you drinking, Dr. David?
So, Chicago, have you been to, I'm going to Paris next week. Do you have any recommendations in Paris?
Oh, go to the Bourgeois cafe and then go to the Proletariat nightclub.
Can you send me the link?
John, have you ever been in a long-term relationship?
Austin, I've been engaged, and yes, I've been in long-term love affairs, Austin. What's your point, Doctor?
I'm just trying to figure out your numbers here, because, it looks like you were getting married and divorced every 2 months since you were 18.
Well, what's
Are you
important?
denying that he has 140? Is that what you're saying?
No, he says he has 140 ex-wives. That would require him every 2 months to get married and divorced.
That's also your IQ score. Wow.
David, when we go to the hockey game, buddy?
With all due respect, I probably wouldn't by chance.
Well, thank you very little.
John, I'm going to challenge you to do something kind for a stranger today.
Really? Well, I've already done that actually. I got one of well, I won't go into too many details, but I did an act of charity this morning.
You didn't talk to someone else on the elevator?
No, I was a gentleman and I helped someone in a bind.
Okay, so Chicago, if you don't have any Paris recommendations, I'll be in London as well. Do you have any recommendations in London?
Oh yeah, go to the Playboy Club and see my ex-wife. Her name is
Mayfair. I've been to
Rose.
that. I've been there.
She's a key girl. She's an absolute perfect 10. Her name is Rose Marhata.
She's a London 10 though.
That's my stupid.
Yeah, so I've been with more than a few girls from London, but none of them were British. They were all
London Bridge is falling down.
yeah. No offense to anybody in the room who's British, but these British girls, not so much.
Wow.
What do you mean?
So a London 10 is like a newer Donald Trump.
No.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like the London 10 is like a New York City style.
David,
So you're from New York, right?
From New York City 5? That's doing whatever.
David, when was the last time you had sex and you didn't have to pay for it?
I don't know if to answer that question.
When has anyone ever had not paid for it? Ever?
That's actually a good question, too. FYI.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm wondering how David views
The better
love.
question is, when have you had it and not regretted it?
That's actually a good question, too.
That's a good question. I've heard if you want to fuck her in the ass, that's how you know you love her.
Wow. Nah, man, I'm not about
That's not one of those good questions?
No, that's not a great question.
What if you want to fuck her in the ass and you realize that in this scenario, you are the ass?
Yeah, man. Once you go there, it's all over. Like, it's downhill, in my opinion. But go ahead.
No, I agree. But I've seen some porno videos that made me rethink some of my past former sexual experiences, and I thought to myself, you know what? I would like to have tried that position with that person.
Wait, so Albert, do you have any recommendations for me?
Chicago, with a little bit of surgery, you could get that confident voice you're going for.
I've already shaved down my vocal cords.
What about Paris or London? Do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, enjoy it. It's great. They're both great cities. But don't
Well, yeah, I know. I've been there.
David, here's my recommendation for you. Update your Hinge settings to Paris, then London, and so have your...
I don't use Hinge.
Well, this is what you need to do. This is the recommendation. Because once you download Hinge and you do your photo verify and then you update your geolocation to Paris and London and you start swiping right, well, now you've built up a little social network, kind of like a conference call app for loser faggot retards that waste all their time and are bored and lonely and don't create anything called Clown House. Something you're very familiar with. Hello?
See, that was just straight up mean, man. Why you being mean?
Yeah, that's not nice. That's not nice.
Because when people come to me for advice, I give them good advice. But if they don't take my advice, well, then they just confirm my diagnosis.
Recommendation is, I'll give it to you in private.
Yeah. Let's go. Bullying's better than a Playboy cup.
I don't know. I mean, there's no need, like, do you not like him? And then, I mean, it's okay. But to be mean, just to be an asshole, that's not good.
Oh, well, David was asking for some unfiltered advice. I thought I'd share some good ideas with him, but he's a lazy
What's up, Austin?
faggot retard.
I tried to.
Oh, glad, but you did not accept.
I'm sorry. Did you?
David's the kind of guy who's so lazy he doesn't even have a Hinge account. And then when I look at my friends' Hinge accounts, they are so lazy, they don't even message the girls that they've matched with. I say, just copy and paste a response. You're not even talking to people. God, you're fucking lazy. So welcome back to Happy Hour.
Oh, now he's gone?
Oh, they'll be back. They just wanted to share some gay little locations about where they can have
He's
their
gay, obviously, right?
best little gay sex.
He's gay.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I've never met him. I have no idea. Doesn't matter. Whatever.
Yeah, he can orgasm in Paris however he chooses to orgasm. I'm not interested in his orgasm at the news.
Why are you so, interested in calling him a piece of shit? That's what's weird.
I didn't call him a piece of shit. Say he's a piece of shit, did I? No, I did not. That's your interpretation. That's your assumption.
That's my direct way of listening to you talk to other people. It's very simple. That's how I do it.
Oh, that's your observation of my behavior.
It seemed like you don't like him. Like you were being an asshole to him.
Well, what did I say? What did I say that was so insulting to David Bobadilla?
I don't know what you said to him. You called him a fag and whatever, right?
Oh, a faggot retard is a term of endearment nowadays.
Okay, wonderful.
Haven't you ever been to a happy hour before, faggot? Oh, I'm sorry. I got my happy hour events mixed up. I thought this was the LGBTQAI plus happy hour. My bad, boys.
That's actually pretty funny. Go ahead. Keep going. I don't know why you're being an asshole.
So I'm just saying that, like, if you've never looked up LGBTQIA plus and you don't know what the plus is, it means twin flame. It comes from a 1990s indigenous tribe that had rotating work assignments for both males and females. It's called twin love. Plus inclusive!
I mean, you definitely have a creative mind, bro, which is good. I hope you're using it.
Oh, it's super productive. It's more productive than David Bobadilla. Oh, by the way, I'm going to Moscow. I'm going to Moscow on Friday. Have any recommendations?
I would rather you not just badger people, but go ahead.
This is a happy hour, Albert. You know, people are here to take some shots, relax a little. They ran off to their little private. They'll be back. They got nothing better to do. Why do you think they were here? They got nothing to do.
No, maybe they want to have some fun and talk about, interesting shit, man. Not be berated or bullshitted. That's not, I don't know if that's in your vernacular.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
So you got all of these degrees on your wall, and then you flow all of a sudden during the company.
I answered your question. I said yes.
You don't want to tell the truth, so just...
I don't have a problem with the truth. I don't.
want to tell the truth, so just speak quietly.
I don't have a problem with the truth. I just felt...
Because you're saying, when this morning? No, yesterday.
Well, yes, absolutely.
Welcome to the podcast. We have Mayor candidate John Kitover on the show. Hey everyone, welcome John Kitover.
Hello?
Hey, welcome John.
Hey, this is mayoral candidate John Kitover. Hey Max, how are you doing, sir? How's the campaign coming along?
The TV show is great. John, you did something that's very unorthodox, but also there's some throwbacks. There's a lot of former Governor Mike Huckabee would play the saxophone. Bill Clinton famously would join up on stage too with saxophone and guitar. Can you tell the audience on your decision to start the John Kitover band in the middle of your mayor's race?
That's right. Every time I go out on a Friday or Saturday night and I film a band, I automatically label them the John Kitover Band on YouTube.
Brilliant. So kind of like a Wu-Tang Clan situation where there's different iterations, different clans. Every Thursday and Friday. That's really cool. How is the race, John? How are you feeling? What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
I've always liked Rocky Road. I love the marshmallow,
I was going to say, Rocky Road.
Fudge, the walnut. I mean, who doesn't like a good Rocky Road?
To keep things light, what are your thoughts on Israel versus Palestine? What do you think?
Well, Rabboni Shalom, I heard they have a New York City subway down there below the Gaza Strip. And they're still shifting munitions and fighting. Why can't we just have peace in the world? Rabboni Shalom. Shalom for everybody.
Halal buckets. It's Gaza chicken strips. I think it's very clever as a dish.
Nice.
But I was calling you. There's what's it called? Tishbah.
Oh, Rabboni Shalom. I want to meet a hot brunette Jewish chick named Tish. Tish with a tush.
Actually, it's the date that I got married, and should have got married on because that was the big mistake because we got married on the holiday portion. But the after portion is supposed to be very romantic. We're supposed to meet someone, but yeah. Aaron Del Mar in the news.
Yeah, for what?
We'll find out.
What, the lawsuit?
The lawsuits. It's David Pritchard's suing him too. For the whole. You saw the video of the one getting arrested.
Yeah.
I think they have a credible. There's probably a credible argument. They probably know more than I do. Aaron probably leaned on his Palatine connections to make that happen. They're suing the city of Palatine. There might have been enough to charge it. I don't know. But they charged him with assault. That's crazy. He got found not guilty, by the way. And I was at the trial, and I wouldn't invite you to live stream, but you go to jail if you live streamed it. But that judge looked like he wanted to kill him the entire time. This is so embarrassing. He told both sides to shut up. You're hurting your case. Stop talking. And when I look at the judge, Stephen Nowitzki, he's one of those judges that they got demoted for. He basically would let off two people that ended up murdering. He was domestic court judge, and two people he puts slaps on the wrists on during domestic violence trials. They end up murdering their spouses or significant others, and so they demoted him. And so he was on freaking Dave Pritchard Palestine GOP trial. Like, kill me. Like, the entire time, hands on the face, like, smirking, angry contempt, yelling at other lawyers. So it's pretty interesting. But basically, I talked to the Dave Pritchard side lawyer, and he texted me straight up. They're suing Aaron. And are we on the podcast?
Yeah, you're live on the clown. You're live on the clown show in the clown world.
I want to break some news. There's some news that we're getting that this lawsuit is actually funded by Brian Castle because he's upset that Aaron removed his son from the person.
Welcome to Clown World.
But really, all politics, they say all politics is local. That's not true. All politics is petty.
Welcome to Clown World.
Tell them what you want. What's the order of the day? Order of the day.
Oh man, that's exciting news.
And I gotta read some articles, Do my thing. I got my new startup company. I'm very excited about. And that's good.
What's our Polymarket investment fund doing this for the rest of the year? I think we're gonna make some bets on Polymarket.
No, I'm sitting in Calci, and I've just been earning like the 4%. I haven't made a bet in like a couple months. I made a bunch of March Madness funds, and I think I won I basically bet on a bunch of different teams, and I think I came out on top by like 10%. Let's say like I put in 500, I made 550. And I'm like, my biggest bet I made was on Bob Trietti. I made $250, $300 off him. I fucked up when I'm telling you that. And so basically, Bob Trietti was trading at 75 cents, but he had Andy Williams was his only opponent, and he was running as a write-in.
Oh my god!
So that was that's the thing with Polymarket and Calci is the key is like look for the micro markets, like markets that have less than $10,000, $15,000 in it, and then try to find the Bob Trietti stuff that just is that doesn't make sense because it's so small. And the difference between Calci and Polymarket is you're more likely to see that on Calci, because Polymarket is basically you have to put up the money to make the market, versus Calci puts up their own money to make the markets. So basically, like the community is like, hey, I want to put a market for mayor's race, whatever, and then Calci has to give the green light. Versus Polymarket, I'm pretty sure you on your own, like you can say, well, John Kitover will be mayor. But that that could be interesting too, is because I think that would see if you make money, is maybe you can kind of be a market maker. That's my name on Calci. I'm a market maker. Do you know what Harpo? That's my favorite from the Marx Brothers, dude. I love a huge Harpo fan.
I was just reading.
Pretty lady. Yeah.
Yeah, Jerry Lewis.
It's like him and Bob Hope and.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard Hope.
And his movies don't. He basically was the Adam Sandler of his time, but his movies don't. They don't stand the test of time. I could watch Duck Soup tomorrow or Animal Crackers and laugh my ass off. Watch Marx Brothers tonight, you'll laugh.
Yeah, I've got DVDs on Marx Brothers, but you know who they say? You know that movie Eyes Wide Shut by Kubrick?
Yeah, great movie.
They say that.
It's okay movie.
They say that the guy who was throwing the elite sex parties, that's supposed to be Bob Hope.
Yeah, they say Bob Hope was a bad man with all the USO stuff and going overseas. Think about how much more shit you can do in the war zones.
I don't know about that. I'm just saying that, if there is some kind of, elite cult or something like that, they say...
Do you know about that happened in Serbia and Kosovo? When they basically, there was the allegation that basically elite people were paying... There was that war going on, that conflict in Yugoslavia or whatever, and, rich people were paying money to just snipe people. Do you hear about that?
Yeah. I've heard about that. Did you know it took 750,000 Soviets that died in battle to kill 250,000 Germans in Stalingrad?
I'm not surprised.
So 1 million people died in bloody glory for...
They wanted them to die because they...
For what?
So the commies just don't care about human life. And they were literally giving them more. You get a rifle, you get some ammunition. It was complete bullshit. And No, because they really think that like the central planning, whatever, the central committee, like the GOP, like should have all the power and like should plan everything. And it's hard to plan everything. Give so many people. So that's why all the commies always go depopulation route, or like the education camp route. It's because it's much easier to plan. If you have slaves.
I mean it's true. You wipe out your future political enemies in the mass casualty battle. But anyways, I was going through a book today. But so the campaign to elect John Kitover, I'm gonna update the antidote.
When can you do you make it official? Because then I think you should start like texting Shia and really get some press.
It's official when I start putting up videos of me collecting signatures.
Yeah, when are you gonna make your file?
There's no file, as you said. I just submit my petitions. That's it.
If you're never gonna submit well, I guess you are. You're gonna submit like 3 petition sheets.
Yeah.
But then you're only gonna be a candidate for a month. I think you should try to.
No, I'll submit. I'm gonna submit. Like I'm gonna get a couple petition sheets and go downtown and just submit. That's it.
Smart. And I'll be writing after you get gone.
Absolutely.
I want to get writing for as many things as possible, as I said. And then there's a chance I might run for alderman. Because I feel like alderman. I don't know. Maybe it was such a waste of time.
I'm gonna do a lot of publicity. I'm gonna shoot a lot of videos at the Thomas Jefferson Copper Bronze Memorial. And I'm gonna have petition sheets that are gonna say, if you live in Chicago and you are a patriot, come to Jefferson Park today to meet candidate John and sign the petition to liberate Chicago on the Constitution held by Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, I think we should be the leader of like a movement. Awesome.
Yeah, it's got to be a movement. It's basically like starting like a political cult.
And a little bit.
I mean, look at Marx and Engels. Marx and Engels.
There's any help with the pros.
So I gotta connect. That's why I've decided to go full on LGBTQ, AI plus, because I realize that I need as many votes as possible. So I'm going to embrace what I consider to be illegal and unethical and immoral behavior, which is same-sex orgasm or attempting
that's
to
why
have same-sex orgasm.
Jews should run for office. That's why I say Jews should run for office. Because you force you to sell out to win, college. But I support it.
Because you see, there's so many fat, ugly faggots in the LGBTQAI plus movement that they can't even achieve orgasm. So they're not actually gay because they can't successfully.
It's not a community, dude. It's not. There is no community based on actions. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean? They got Pride Month. That's the month of action.
I'm in the push-up community. Like, what the fuck, dude? Am I in the push-up community now? Can I do push-ups?
Well, if you go to a gym,
ridiculous, man.
I realized today I was at the gym and I was like, I would rather invest more time trying to meet people or hot chicks that come to this gym than socialize on Clown House with a bunch of losers who repeat themselves all day, every day, and do the same stupid shtick.
Smart. 100%. Your mind's in the right place.
Yeah. Because I'm like, wait a minute, I have a community here at the gym, and I'm not even meeting all the hot chicks that I see every day. Why don't I introduce myself?
And a lot of them had similar interests. There was a girl that was very good looking in my gym, but I was engaged in time, so I wasn't entertaining anything. But it turns out she was wearing Trump stuff out of nowhere. You never know.
Yeah, I saw a hot chick at the gym with a black Trump MAGA hat. Couldn't tell it was a MAGA hat unless you looked really carefully.
I feel like the gyms are a lean way right. And there's a few random Kaepernick types that wear a Kaepernick shirt. Or there's this lesbian in my gym that will be who who's eating all the pussy? Who ate all the pussy? She'll wear that shirt to the gym. I'm like, okay, it's a little bit vulgar. But one thing is, I do think gyms are 70% conservative values. What do you say? 60 even in Chicago.
There's a lot of liberals at the gym, but
a lot of Republicans in my gym.
There's a lot of Latinos at my gym. I hear a lot of Spanish at my gym.
Interesting. You're a little west. It's a West. A little Spanish, not that much Spanish.
So
Well,
I
it's like
think
Jewish,
I'm gonna
Indian,
file.
Pakistani.
I'm gonna file August 10th.
Was that a date of specific? Is there something happening on August 10th?
No, Rabbanu Shalom, 10 not 11, 10 not 9.
Okay, let's do it. I'm excited. 10's a very holic number.
Yeah.
10 commandments.
Yeah, 10 Sephiroth, 10 divine lights of emanation.
Exactly. Exactly. 10 Sephiroth, man.
I read the 10 Commandments on the rooftop at Chabad, and I was like, took a photo of it, and then the next day I was talking with these atheist faggot retards on Clownhouse, and I started reading the 10. I was blown away at how angry they got, and then also how logical the 10.
Respect God. They got really offended by that. It's like, really? You want us to respect all your bullshit? All the pronouns, all the microaggressions. But it's almost like putting water on a witch. I think because the Bible is the ultimate truth, that it is like a vinegar baking soda situation. It repels. And Job 20:28 is an understanding that the foundation of wisdom is the belief in the Lord, and that compelling evil is understanding. The foundation of wisdom, when you're talking shit to one of these heathens, you never do that out of hate. It's no different than just doing a chore. You should do it out of love when you're talking to these people. But that's kind of why you have to realize that you're doing them a favor, and you can't let them suck your time too much. That's why I don't go to the Clownhouse. I don't hate those atheists. They're just idiots.
Oh, I like mocking them, but they say if you have a deficit with the ladies, they say to study Torah because then you become irresistible.
Who said that?
It's in a hymn or in a maxim book that I read. If you want to become irresistible, read the Bible.
Yeah, because it's the truth. And you don't want to attract a bunch of Jezebels. You'll attract it's absolutely a good move. It's never been a bad thing to study Torah. It also enhances all the mitzvahs. Because a lot of people, including atheists, they do good things by accident. So why not? I'm sure you or he, I've accidentally cooked a good dish all the time. Because I'm a home chef. But if I actually took it seriously and learned recipes, that would enhance everything. Same thing with Torah. So just because we intuitively know don't steal and be nice to people, it's nice to have,
Do you know what the difference is between reading a cookbook and reading Torah?
What's the difference?
When you read Torah, you prepare yourself as the entree, the appetizer, the dessert. You make, a 10-course meal of yourself. And if you read a book and it happens to be a recipe book, but you don't actually cook what you read, and you just read it, well, you didn't cook nothing, so you got nothing to eat. I'd say it's better to prepare yourself for dinner by reading Torah than actually reading a cookbook.
Welcome to the Top John Peter Show. Is brought to you by NordVPN. Reading Torah is the way of life. The John Peter Show is brought to you by Aaron Delmar for governor.
Man, the guy is
brought to you by Behind Enemy Lines.
He's really flying under the radar, and he knows he's going to lose, so he still views himself as being a viable political candidate, even in the face of an upcoming loss and all the negative publicity. The guy is, he's a...
Well, his hope, which is very real, is kind of during COVID, or kind of how Europe's a mess in general. Mm-hmm. And America is making a lot of mistakes, a lot of bad investments, and a lot of things that Mayor Tom Kitover was talking about. But part of the reason why America's not completely screwed is because you have Europe doing worse, Asia doing worse, Africa in worse shape. And so Aaron Delmar benefits from other Republicans and other Democrats being a shit show. The Democrats, I'm not sure if you're following what's going on with CT. It's really funny. Like, they don't have near the same money they used to. Like, Stacey Gates is just like a Nepo baby. Like, you know, it's kind of like, she's like really, it's actually, I'm a huge fan of hers. Because she's bringing down CTU.
Yeah,
she's got like, follow her on Twitter. She like turns on commenting, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of see like, wow, she's like an egomaniac.
Yeah, she's mental, bro.
Yeah, no, like she, like the way that she's running the electioneering efforts is also really bad. Because like people like that don't recruit good candidates, and they also don't, they'll burn bridges to personal slights. And so like the CTU, like for the first time ever, has like no fucking power. Like Brandon Johnson might not even run for re-election.
Why wouldn't he rerun, man? I saw how much he got his first run from certain donors. I mean, the guy raised millions.
You know, his best friend is the head APAC for Chicago. I'm blanking on his name. Miles, I believe. I forgot. But it's literally Brandon Johnson's best friend. Like, Brandon Johnson was a professional lobbyist, political hack for over a decade. And so Brandon does have all the avenues to do it. And so I don't think being mayor of Chicago is a good gig. Imagine if, like, are you in any sports leagues at all? Soccer, football, basketball?
Cricket, most.
College? Shit.
Tennis, European tour.
I mean, like, just think about, like, if you were to take over Blockbuster Video in 2026, maybe is a good metaphor. Like, why would you want to take over something that's completely fucked financially, and then, like, the people that are putting you in there, you owe them favors that you can't follow through with? I do think he's going to run, and he's got the easiest pathway to the runoff. So I wouldn't count him out on losing. It's really a question of what's going on.
I don't think he can win. His approval ratings to like 20%, and his odds on Kalshi are 150 plus to 1, dude.
No, Kalshi. So I look at the Kalshi thing. It's all fake. It's a micro market. Like I can get him up to like 20% for $50. And people are undercounting the whole runoff system. That basically, you have to make the runoff to win, obviously. And he's the easiest path. Like, he's the only, like, hardcore progressive incumbent mayor. So he's going to get the 20-25% he needs to get the runoff. But then the question is, like, is he going to run against Janulius, Mendoza, Willie Wilson? And, like, a lot of those candidates would just beat his ass. Like, Janulius would beat the shit out of him. But I think Brandon can beat Mendoza. Because Mendoza's, like, moving as a Republican. And they'll be like, you're a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
You vote for Donald Trump. Like, I think he could beat her. I think he could beat Willie Wilson, but Wilson's not going to win. I think he could beat Quigley, but I think Quigley would beat him in a head-to-head. So we'll see. Quigley's such a fucking clown.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
Maria Pappas. I think he'd beat Pappas.
Hey, it's me, Maria Pappas, your next mayor of Chicago. I'm in Greece. At a wedding.
That's why Brandon Johnson has a chance. Is what if he gets some idiot to run off with him, like Paul Bowers last time?
Hey, it's me, Maria Pappas. Watch me do this dance.
I'm a dasher. I'm Maria Pappas.
And people were responding. The statement is that she's been banned from speaking with the Property Tax Assessment Software Corporation because she's so retarded.
Not surprised.
Yeah, people like that, because that's true. She was banned from communicating with, I think it's called Tyler Technologies.
I wouldn't trust her to drive me. I'm like, hey, I need to get that insane. I wouldn't trust her.
Hop on in, cowboy.
You get in the car.
Get in the car, handsome. I hope you like tall Greek women with some spunk.
You know what? That's not my top friends. I do not like tall Greek women. That's not my type.
This will be my 27th campaign, and I'm going to dance right into the mayoral office.
Well, bless your heart, friend. I think that's wonderful, Marie Pappas.
It's another big fat Greek wedding with Maria Pappas.
I think you should pop it like it's hot. Pop it, lock it, and drop it.
Vote Maria Pappas and I'll cut your property tax 25%. Day one.
You vote for Maria Pappas and she'll pop that ass. You grow Pappas.
Everybody loves a big fat Greek wedding, but nobody likes a big fat property tax bill. For Maria Pappas! I'm best friends with Samantha Steele. She was at my party drinking wine when she got DUI and told that Chinese cop he's got a little dick.
When Samantha Steele got pulled over, she said, "I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm waiting for my attorney."
So I know that guy. I know the attorney. He was running for office at the same time my friend was running, and I was running too in 2022. And he was like afraid. He was afraid he was going to lose to my friend, who was a military guy, Ben Hauser. I think he'd like him more than what happened to him. But he basically would show up to like early voting every fucking day, and was like became tight with my grandma Debbie, rest in peace. And I would talk to him, but he was such a loser. And I asked my friend, I'm like, was he? Do you think I think he might have been having a relationship with Pappas. I mean, with Steele, because they're both like single. They're both like divorced. And he's like a Cook County commissioner. He's not like a lawyer. He's like an actual elected official.
Well, when I met Samantha Steele, and she introduced me to this guy who helped me with my appeal, and she like physically touched me and walked me and like held me, and I was like, whoa. I was like, this is a touchy-feely woman.
Oh, she seems like a flirt for sure.
Yeah, she was a flirt.
And like, she's not bad looking. I think I mean, definitely a huge alcohol problem. I went to the Steele trial, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I'm gonna start drinking. Like, basically, the moral of this trial is that, like, if you drink and drive, just like tell the cop he has a small dick and just don't comply. That was the moral of the trial. Because that's what she did. She told the cop he had a small dick and didn't comply.
There's photos of her at the house party. There's photos of her at the house party. They were drinking heavily at the party, and then she even had like open alcohol.
Yeah, I know. It was bullshit.
She's so fucking lucky, bro.
No, she's not. It's corrupt. They got a 90-year-old judge out of retirement just for this case.
Well, I mean, do you know how much this chick is pulling to the property tax commissioner? She's
a lawyer?
Yeah, her and her husband. You didn't read these articles about how she has all these properties? She has a racket.
For you, Samantha.
Dude, she's got a business racket, bro. Her and her husband are making millions.
No, she's not married.
Well, a partner or something, but I remember when I read the article that she has all these...
She probably was married, you know.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm just saying that I told her, I was like, yeah, they threw me off the ballot when I ran for person. I didn't have, it was short, like, 100 signatures, and she goes, I went through all that shit in the fucking middle of December. I was knocking on doors to get fucking petition signatures. I did it. I was like, shit, bitch, you did it.
No, she's like, she got a motor mouth, and she's like, she probably beats on the ass too. I could totally see that conversation going on like that.
Yeah, she was like, keep fighting. I did it. I went door to door in the fucking cold, and I did it.
I did it. That is fucking bullshit. What are you doing tonight?
She's like, I did it for 30 minutes, then I sent in my workers.
Are you looking at magical evening in Emerald Isle?
Yeah, never seen it at Emerald Island. There was a shooting outside of Halligan's in Lincoln Park. Did you see that?
Yeah, my mom called me.
Yeah, I guess it was somebody with a CCL, carry conceal license, and they turned in the gun after the shooting or something.
Oh, so it was like a legit shooting? It wasn't a defense?
I don't know if they, whatever. It was just somebody with a CCL, so that was the latest headline I saw.
Did they kill a bunch of people or just one?
I think it was like one fight or something.
Oh, that's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal. But it was a lot of casings, I think. I saw a ton of... anyways, I don't know what the whole story is. I'm just bringing it up.
It sucks that Chicago doesn't have a gun culture.
What are you talking about? There's lots of... Don't have a gun culture. We got 35 shootings every fucking weekend, bro. 50 shootings. It's a lot of guns.
It's amateur gun culture. Like, we don't, respect guns. And we don't, but that's why you're seeing all the extra casings and the fucking drive-by, standby shootings and stuff. We don't have a gun culture. We're not raised to respect guns. There are no guns, and the only people that really do that are criminals. And they get all their shit from movies and holding guns sideways. And all that bullshit, dude. We don't have a gun culture, dude. No, we do not. Texas has gun culture. Virginia has gun culture. Arizona's got gun culture. Florida's got gun culture. We ain't got gun culture. We got pussy culture. We got drawing chalk outside the guy's dead body culture, you know? No, man, we ain't got it. I didn't fight so much. I text you about how my cousin has that podcast being Jewish. And I'm like, stop talking about security guards. Just, we need more good bring guns to synagogue. And that happens in Texas. It's like when I go to my, grandma, that rest in peace. Like her near synagogue, Uncle still lives there. You know, they had AR-15s, like just hanging around for fun. Yeah. Well, like, when there was a shooting at the synagogue, it was the only synagogue in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that has a no-gun policy.
That's what my dad told the Jewish Federation. He's like, take these stupid don't bring no gun signs in. That's like saying bring a gun in. Get rid of these fucking signs.
Exactly. Yeah, get these Jews here. Jews are easier. Yeah. So stupid.
I don't know if they took my dad's advice.
25% chance that whoever you rob had a gun, you just wouldn't see that. You wouldn't see the same kind of shit. You wouldn't see the same kind of shit talking.
So when are you going to send me the Illinois Record officials to make some links to post? I mean, you know.
No, I'm currently messing up with Kitover Industries before you make it official.
Holy shit.
Because of the tank, they'll have some more restrictions.
Whenever I took a screenshot of Severino's lawsuit, so like tons of shit I just repost with Severino's, everything Bailey posts, I just repost the Severino lawsuit.
You have the full lawsuit?
Not the full one, just the screenshot.
Oh, you should do that. Or you should also repost it with the judge, have the judge rule against Terry. There's some funny shit in there. He's like, he said they're political, but like, when Nixon did, it was way above saying she's a crazy person. It's pretty funny.
Any closing comments, thoughts, ideas, or opinions while you're on the John Kitover News podcast?
I just want to thank a tremendous thanks. And when you're mayor, I don't want you to forget where you came from. It's very important because Brandon Johnson's someone who started off as an activist, lobbyist, now mayor. People forget where they came from.
Some people say they came from the gutter. I say I came from the clown house tent.
You not you came from the flowers of the Jefferson Park garden.
Well, if you look at my YouTube live right now, I'm in a clown costume. It looks actually really good. My T-shirt is crushing. I got some compliments today, and this hot chick was like, "Where is that T-shirt from?" I was like, "I wasn't born a clown." All right, what did I say? I didn't become a clown. I was born a clown.
Well, I just wish you nothing but luck. And you got this, John.
August 10th. That's when, dude, I was looking at my committee person, like old Instagram account with that guy George Stubbs and how we got him to submit his packet and all that bullshit. Bro, what a fucking waste of time that was. What a fucking horrible experience. Like, but we got the photos. We did some shit.
But next time, Gary told me the one day, the least time, if you ever get a random person to do again, a police accountability board, they just need 150, 250.
That's a good
one.
one.
But it can't be like George. It's got to be someone that at least has a pulse.
Somebody like an abuse.
I think he smoked the petitions.
You mean like Pat Gibbons, because he's a high quality candidate?
No, not high quality. You use the petitions like roll them up, like with crack and weed. Like a little more high, like a little. It doesn't have to be like it doesn't have to be Pat Gibbons style marketing, but in between Gibbons and George. I think we should. I think clown candidates are good.
I've never.
They're conversation starters.
It's amazing. It's like having gone through these experiences. It's like intelligence is truly knowing what never to repeat again in your life, and like learning the lesson thoroughly, doing the same stupid shit again. Because
I'm not an intelligent man.
Yeah, the true intelligence is so dynamic. Each action.
What you're talking about is wisdom. Because I work on come on, just to talk to intelligence.
Yeah, fiery intelligence,
knowledge, wisdom, and
bodily intel. I'm just saying, like, there were some gems. There were some gems. Actually, see, George was like the outlier and the horrible person, but this one woman, she responded to the Craigslist ad again. These people are like constantly looking in that government. Anyways, all 2 times. Anyways, any other final closing comments, questions, ideas, anything you want to say to this YouTube live?
We want Mashiach now. It's still not sundown.
We want Mashiach now,
We want Mashiach now.
and we don't have to wait.
Speed it up. And to support the moment of silence found to have the Rebbe. We're really pushing that right now. John. We're really pushing the moment of silence. So if you put out something saying you support that.
Let's just take a moment of silence right now. Bono Shalom. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, I should call up.
Okay,
all right,
bye.
Trying to sit here and run this suck and fuck self-suck circle of like, oh my god, and oh my god, these things are not these things because you're not lying. It's like, dude, you weren't even interacting with T when he was giving you logical arguments to play on T. So you're so confident to be intense. And you don't, because of this, they understand. Listen, Rabbi, if you don't have the cognitive ability to follow the arguments, just say that. Oh, wait, there's a word again. Opinion, right? Opinion, therefore it's true, right? Rabbi, so wait, hold on, Rabbi, there's nothing to talk about here because we've addressed both morality and truth, topics in which you invoked into the room, and yet you are doing the biggest church circle by yourself by not answering a single goddamn pronto sent your way. So what the fuck else is there to talk about here? Rabbi, you're the epitome of everything. Rabbi, you're the epitome of anti-intellectualism at its finest, and you try to play solo. Like, you think you're smart, you try to join, like, the smart kids club back when you were, like, Sunday school or some shit like that, and you scavenge anything. Can you get this mansplainer under control? Mansplainer? No, I'm explaining your dumbassery in the fucking room right now. If you think this is a crash out, you really haven't seen me crash out before. But I really think that you're actually like me. Anyways, we're not crashing out. I'm losing yourself. And if you were able to actually agree with what I was saying, you would say, hold on a second, wait a minute. You would say, yeah, you're right. Your preferences don't make things true. Right? Your preferences largely mirror. But one-man circus here, and everybody's paying for a ticket to watch you and turn me bust. How come every time you talk to a religious person or a film bro, they always talk like this, but one exact same note and everything we're working. Hey, Rabbi, show me the people in here. Rabbi, what's keeping you here? You must. Rabbi, are you trying to fuck me, bro? You can just say that. I'll raise the name. I don't eat kosher. I'm under the assumption now that you want my nuts. Rabbi, if I dip my nuts in ink and paint it on your forehead, even my balls in your butt cheeks, it's all my balls here. This is why nobody takes you guys serious. Rabbi, you're the
Pressure that is neither good nor useful. This thing, necessity itself, determined constitution, living with its substance and material, and what its special nature does it subsist? My question is for you. No, my question is not for you. It's not like direct. It's nearly how this works. Everyone's strong in charity. People here listening to it, there's no end. It's only bringing his country and money to realize the emotion. Rabbi, be on the ballot.
Like, dude, fuck you, you're not a real rabbi.
Oh, the dog is just a guy. What he does is they don't free things in the story. Just keep y'all clean. Bitch, and
It's really sad that was 110%.
No. I mean, 110% of 1,000%. I wasn't close. It's really effort. Very low effort. I'm sorry, brother. So I'm disappointed. I just like how fucking songs are on. I just want to watch the game. I have to get every door. I just want. Listen, he's talking about sharing this weekend. 32 phones are on. Listen, don't have to try. I guess.
Yeah, RFK famously did that with Louisiana Nazi back in the 1980s.
That's insane.
I'm still Chicago. I'm John Kitover, running for mayor. First things first, the snow is going to move itself. I can dig out my block. I can dig this thing.
His affinity for fellowship with the Libyan Nazi back in like 1982.
Jesus, we had the Epstein files before the Epstein files, guys. What a fucking goober. I miss you showing the entire time. I cannot.
He is. No. Okay, the thing that, like, this goes back in the series, that was way too much. There's something wrong up there,
In this sense, to the medieval masters of magic who justified in claiming by the evocation of a given demon worthy of demos, like one who acknowledge all sciences.
Listen, that's my Merry Christmas, everybody.
Pineapple on pizza isn't that bad.
If you're down, we can totally Eiffel Tower him while suspended.
Welcome back. I'm joined by John Kitover. This is John Kitover Chicago.
I don't feel like that. Like, it doesn't feel productive. Like, I don't want to raise some so I'm just trying.
Any other join the Thunderdome of charitable donations?
I need to ask Dan something quickly. Dan, what do you think about GPT-5?
Comment and other donations.
Alpha Daisy 5. And I get to live GPT-5 license.
That's what I've done. I've literally told my coding engine, who I picked Max, because I use that one, the Max cloud.
Alpha 5 will check out some comment real spirit of the body distribution.
Learning. As he said, Tom,
So this is
and it's super fast.
Oh my god, Grok is a fucking monster, dude. I use for my coding, I'm doing Claude, so I use 3 different platforms.
our show, but I would definitely just.
System, and basically what I've used three combo force to build the scaffolding, and then I'm going to go in with an individualistic, like a claw, and I'm going to wind up using automate that entire back-end process via AI.
It's a completely wasted time, and let me tell you, I did it myself.
The speaker might change this essence. There's a complexity in operation, that which changeth now is mine own nature, but this includeth the possibility of infinite.
Use them through calls and interface the calls under the option code. You can literally send out agents to do whatever you want. And they come back super fast.
Yeah, well, I think here's the thing, especially like with Chrome things, like obviously 5.6 and 5 are the walking down the frontier walkers. The Chrome 4.5 is the weird on longevity. If you say he's a good moment, and he's great, like he's a cool, right? You know what I'm saying?
He scares me there. Did you see the experiment?
Actually, I haven't like sometimes I throw things that are more elaborate than my intelligence, can understand. So I'll put the paper into AI and says, hey, explain.
Derek, the mundane one, at the worldly level, the chains are made of habits, habit mind. We are given a way of thinking, we get stuck in it, and it's very difficult to get out of it. The second component, which is esoteric, and that's the component which the Sufis talk about when they say you are looking for realization. You are looking for realization. You are knocking on an open door. These doors are already open.